I'm Uthman. I worked here before everything came crashing down. Before we grab the elevator piece, there's something I need to do first. I need to hand this imposter over to someone very close to me. He must have gotten very lonely, but I got him a new friend. Now, we wait. Wait, no, Nab.
tried to do with the adults, I will make sure to keep one alive and sane so that the surviving children are delivered to the surface safe and sound.